Good morning, everyone. So today's class we will start, which is about uh, creating basically triggers, and we will learn what are the triggers and how the triggers work. So this exercise, this lesson have some files, exercises which you can download, and the link is given in the description below. So once you will click on that link, you will be able to download. Just download the whole folder. Okay, it's a Google Drive link. It will take you to the Google Drive folder. Just go on the Google Drive, right click, and you can download the whole folder by right clicking on the folder and download. Okay. So let's start. If you will see on your screen, this is an exercise file which is created by uh, like uh, it's like samurai animation, like puppets. So there is a like a person who is one of the creators, or he's the team. He's from the team of the like the character animator. So he have a lot of tutorials, a lot of files here. Okay, and one of his exercises I will be following. Okay, his website is oksamurai.com. Okay, and once you will go to his website, there are a lot of materials related to Adobe Character Animator. So he have tutorials, he have everything. So you can see this is his website, oksamurai.com. He also have YouTube account. He have a lot of things on YouTube, Facebook, and he have portfolio as well. If you will go to the puppet section here, you can see he have a lot of like puppets here as well. Okay, and there are a lot of tutorials and the way how you can how he have made the puppets, how you can animate the puppets. So many different things are here. Okay, and if you will go to oksamurai.com, this I want you to download to keep it with you. This is blank template. If you want to start your character, this you should have. This is blank template. This is all blank. You can create your own character on Photoshop or Illustrator from scratch, and it's already made Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator one. You just have to simply download, press the download button. Okay, and then you can download wherever you want. This is a mouth template, only mouth that you can drag and drop to your character. You can click here. This one also you can download. Okay, so some really good like characters he have here. There is one which I also recommend here, which is I think called blank. It's not here, but anyhow, you can download this one. Okay, but there is one more. I think it's somewhere. If you will go to the Adobe website, he have uploaded there as well. Okay, but this is basically like different kind of characters. Okay, and you can see where they belongs to different kind of tutorials. So those tutorial links are also given over here. So very nice website with a lot of like different kind of like resources are here. Okay, so I'm using some of his like resources also just to like teach you more. Okay, so there are some one here, so you can click at this on this link, which is the old link which takes you to the assets.adobe.com. Okay, so here as well we have some tutorials. So let's start now. So here, if you will see, we have this basic triggers, the whole thing. Now, what are the triggers? Triggers are basically, in real life, trigger mean like you have a trigger on the gun. You press the trigger, the gun shoots. Okay. You have trigger in photography, okay? Trigger on the camera flash. So when you take a photograph, the flash turns on, okay? So you have trigger on machines, okay? You press something and that machine start working. So trigger is basically uh, in real life a process that turns on an action, okay? So that's what a trigger is, okay? So here is the same thing. It's an action. So when you uh, start working on something and you want that trigger to work, it will create an action and it will show you on the screen. So it's a you can say like an approach to an action, like something that starts an action, okay? Now, trigger allows you here in Adobe Character Animator to show or hide certain layers. So you make some layers in Photoshop and it allows you to hide those layers and show those layers. And those layers can be complex and those layers can be simple. So how you make triggers? You make layers in Photoshop, okay? And that layers will be hidden or shown with a complex style or with a simple style inside Adobe Character Animator. Okay, so dragging group or layers into the trigger panel, this is how you can make it. Click the trigger column into the next to the group, or so these are the different number of ways. Let's see how to make the trigger. Now we will create here uh, some first the basic triggers. There are 1, 2, 3, and 4 different types of basic triggers that we are going to create. The first trigger that we are going to create is this one, which says press 1 to turn on the light. The layer yellow light has trigger associated with it, so it's invisible by default. Pressing 1 shows it. Okay. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to apply trigger on this yellow light. Now, what will be the trigger? When I press 1 on my keyboard, then the yellow light will be turned on. Otherwise, the yellow light will be hidden. So right now, everything, no trigger is working, okay? Because when I press 1 on my keyboard, nothing happens because there is no trigger applied right now. Let's see how to apply this first trigger. So let us go to the rig. I will go to the rig now, okay? And basic trigger. I will go to the basic trigger puppet here. This is the basic trigger, if you can see. Now, this is my yellow light. Now I have to go to my yellow light here. Here's my yellow light. Okay. As you can see in the link, this is the yellow light and it is showing. So what I will do is here is that I will hide the yellow light first of all. When I will hide the yellow light, you can see a darker version of the yellow light is showing. Now this is not automatic. This darker version of yellow light is placed inside the background elements. Okay, so if I hide this, it hides basically. Okay, so where is this? These shapes, if you will see, these are different shapes that are black colored or light colored, same shapes. Okay, so what is this? This is basically a shape, like a shape which is here. Okay, so it gives an illusion that the light is turned off. Otherwise, it's nothing. It's just in the background panel because background elements will not show any changes. They are just there to act like it is turned off or turned on. You know, it's not working, like an illusion. It's just an image inside the background elements in there. Now, I will go here to the yellow light. Okay, this is turned off. It's invisible. Now, where I can find the trigger? I can find the trigger on my left side. There is a trigger panel here. Okay, so there is no trigger here. So it says drop layers, replace or audio here to create trigger. So you have to just drag and drop, or you can create by pressing this plus button. So create a trigger. So there is like one way to do that. I will show you both ways. So if I press this, I will create trigger. It will make a trigger. Okay, now this trigger is blank. You can see there is an orange color here as the text is written in orange color. That means it's not working. Why it's not working? Because there is nothing inside. So what I can do here is that I can drag this yellow light and drop it on it. When I drop on it, you can see that now it is not anymore orange. This is light gray color. And apart from that, down here you can see it have now something inside. This is the container, okay, which shows what is inside this trigger. So inside the trigger is now yellow light, okay. So this is one way of doing that. Other way is, let me delete this, okay. So you have to click on it and delete, okay. So by mistake I deleted the yellow light, but then I I did the undo, and then I selected and deleted. So make sure you have selected. So the second method is more approachable, more easier method. You just have to drag whatever you want to make it as a trigger, and drag it here on the screen. So once you will drag it here, okay, it will automatically create a trigger. Now this yellow light is basically a trigger, okay. Name will be the same name, so you don't have to rename it. If you will make from here create trigger, you have to rename later on. Now what is this yellow light? It's basically like a trigger which is here. Press 1 to turn on the light. So press what? 1. So how I can tell Adobe Character Animator to turn it on when I press 1? Simple, you will see there is a box here. I will click on this box and type here 1. When I press the 1 button here, or like when I press the 1 key here on the keyboard, it will write number 1 here, and then I can press enter, and the 1 will be applied here, okay. So that's what it is here. So let's see if it works. So remember number 1, when you press number 1, then it shows. So I will go back to record, okay. Now as you know, I hid that, okay, it's not showing here. So when I press 1 on the keyboard, so you can say it is showing, and when I leave the 1 on my keyboard, when I don't like right now my finger is on the number 1 key, okay. If I will leave the number 1 key, then it will not show. So when I press 1, it will show. When I will leave my key from like finger from the 1, it's now not it's kind of invisible. Is this part clear, everyone? Any questions so far? Okay. Now there is a trigger here, but for some reason it's not showing the triggers that we created here. Okay. So what we can do here is that I can press this puppet basic triggers, okay, this layer. When I press this, then it will start showing me here. Okay, clear so far? So if you don't see your triggers, you just have to click the layer where you have applied, and you click on it, then you will be able to see it. Now I'll go back to trigger like rig again. Now let's talk about, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what is the next. Now next one here is press 2 to keep the light on. Okay, so here it says press 1 to turn on the light. Here it says press 2 to keep the light on. Turn on the light means here if I press 1 on my keyboard, it will be turned on, but when I will leave my finger off the 1 key, then it will be it will like turn off. Okay, but here it says press 2 to keep the light on. When I press 2 on my keyboard, so the light turns on, and even if I leave the key, okay, if I lift my finger off the number 2 key, it's still on until I press it again to turn it off. So when I press 2, it turns on, and then I can start doing my work or whatever I want. Okay, it will be turned on, but when I press 2 again, it turns off. Okay, like a real life light. You turn on the real light, you switch it on, okay, it will be turned on. If you will turn it off, it will turn off. Yes, it is a latch. Okay, it's like a latch. So basically what I will do here is that I will go to blue light and hide it. First of all, first thing first, hide it. Then I will take this, drag it here under yellow light. Now I have this blue light here. Okay, now I will simply go to number, its key definer. I will go to 2 and press it. Now, as Muhammad Mahmood said, it is latch. Now, what does the latch means? Latch are like switch. You turn on and you leave it. Once you don't want it, you turn it off. Okay, so latch is basically like a switch. Okay, so what I need to do is that first of all I have to apply number 2 here, because it says you have to press 2 to do that. Then we have an option here called latch. If I keep the latch checked, so that means the latch is applied on the blue light. Now if I will go to record, okay, and now you can see it is hidden. So now I will press 2 on my keyboard. Now I press the 2, now my fingers are not on the 2. Okay, now to turn it off again, what I need to do, I have to press 2 again, and you can see that I have left my fingers off. It's turned off. Okay, number 1, I have to keep my finger on the keyboard. Then I have to leave it to turn it off. But here I have to press, my fingers are not on there, then turn it off. I have to lift my fingers off. This is one way to do that. Okay, this is basically a trigger to apply a latch setting. Now let's see what is number 3. So let's go on number 3 over here. Okay, I'll go to rig, and here I have number 3. Now what does the number 3 says here? Number 3 says press 3 to make 3 separate lights turn on. The layers green light, orange light and red light are in separate layers, but it doesn't matter. They've all been added to the 3 triggers. Okay, so this means I don't have, like, it doesn't mean that it have to be a separate layer. Okay, sorry, it have to be one object at a time. You can take 3 objects, 3 layers at the same time and convert them into a trigger. Okay, now what will be number 3? Number 3 is when I press 3, all these 3 will be turned on. Okay, latch or without latch, it's up to you. Okay, but the key is that you're using 3 different layers to do that. So you can see here you have green light, we have orange light, we have red light. Okay, now what I will do here is that first of all, let me show you one thing. If you go to yellow light, the trigger container shows that the only layer it have is yellow light layer. If I go to blue light, it shows the only trigger that this trigger contains is the blue light. Okay, now what if I want the green, orange and red light, all these 3 to be in one trigger? Yes, I can do that. First of all, I need to hide them. Once they're hidden, I will select all these 3. When all these 3 are selected, I can select all like them at the same time, drag it here. When I drag it here, okay, it will bring it one by one. Okay, they all are separately over here. So what I need to do here is that if I click on the green light, like there is only a green light. If I click on the orange lights, there is only orange light. If I go to red light, there's only red light. So what I will do here is that there should be only one trigger for all these 3. So I can take the orange, drag it inside. You can see when I drag it inside, it becomes blue highlighted, a strong solid blue color here. That means I'm dragging inside like this green layer. So I'm dragging the orange inside the green. So when I do that, orange will be gone. But if I press on the green, So green says there is an orange light here also, and there is a green light here also. So there are two lights, same thing. Right now there are two lights inside the green light. Now I will take the red light, keep my keep it pressed, drag it inside the green light. There will be a solid blue that color over here on the layer itself. When I leave it, my finger from the mouse, you will notice that there will be red light, orange light, and green light. All these three inside this green light. So I can rename this because I don't want to keep it green light. I will rename it to something else. So I will right click, rename it to lights, only lights. Inside the lights, I have red light, orange light, and green light. Suppose if you don't want any one of these, you can press the cross button to delete them or to remove them from the trigger. But I want to keep it. I want it to be latched, and I will press here I will write here number 3. Okay. Now what I will do here is that if I go to record mode, okay. Now inside the record mode, you will see now they are turned off. It's showing the background. If I press 3 on my keyboard, it will be all those 3 are on. If I press 3 again, all of them will be turned off. So that means you can use basically all these lights inside one trigger, okay, or any of your layers inside one trigger. Another way of doing this, let me delete this one, okay, is that you just press here, create a trigger, call this trigger, right click, rename this trigger, and call this light. Now you can see it is orange. Orange means either it's not working or it's empty, okay. So it's empty right now, that's why it's orange. As soon as I will take these 3, drag it directly inside this, okay, you will see that there is a solid blue light here, and it will be turned gray, and you can see all these 3 are there. This will be more easier method if you're approaching to like this kind of trigger which contains more layers. I will turn on the latch, because in other way you have to drag one by one inside the light, or you can select both and drag it here and then rename it. Takes time. So best way is that you create a trigger, rename it, and drag inside that trigger directly. So this is the best method when you are using multiple layers inside a trigger. So one method is this. It will work in the same way. I will press 3, turn it on, 3 to turn it off, 3 to turn it on, 3 to turn it off. Now let's see what is done this hand. Now this hand is not a trigger, it's a swap set. Now swap set is basically a different approach, okay, and it's a little bit different than the you can say your triggers, because trigger is just like press the button, it will work, and you press the button, it will turn off, or while you're keeping it pressed, it will work, and when you stop like pressing it, it will stop. Okay, so that's what the trigger is. But swap set, what is the swap set? The swap, the real meaning of the word swap. Sometimes when you are in exam, okay, and you're sitting, somebody is sitting behind and then you are sitting in the front. Examiner comes and he said, okay, swap your seats. Means you have to go on his seat and that person have to come on your seat. Exchange the seats. So swapping is basically exchanging. Okay, like two people are wearing hats. One is wearing a cowboy hat, other is wearing a peak hat. So I say, okay, swap your hats. So he will give his hat to him and he will give his peak cap to the other person, and then there will be a swap. Means exchanging. So here is the same thing. We are going to exchange. Exchange like what? Suppose here we have 4, 5, or 6 to swap the hand. Okay. Now, where is this hand? We can find in the arm. If I go in the arm layer and open it up, And notice that all these are single layers. There is no, or it's not a group, or like there is nothing inside the group. Okay, it's like single layer. And once we apply the trigger, you can see the triggers are like trigger icon is here. That's like tells us that trigger is applied over here. And when you roll over, it shows you what is the number or the name of the trigger. Now here we have in the arm sleeve. Now sleeve is what? This is sleeve. Nothing is happening with the sleeve. We will keep the sleeve as it is. We are not going to change anything with the sleeve. So don't worry about the sleeve. The main thing is the hand. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 like layers inside the hands folder. The first one is the default, which is unhidden. So you have to keep it unhidden. Okay. Default is always unhidden. Default means the one that you always see on the screen for the first time. And when you bring your object back to its rest state, that's the default state. Okay. So I will hide for now just to show you the point. So I will hide the default and unhide the point. And you can see what is the point. Point is when the person is pointing his finger just like this. Then we have peace. This is the piece where he's making a peace sign. Then palm swap. Palm swap is like this. This is same as default, but this is facing, the thumb is facing over the left side, and here the thumb is facing on the right side. Okay, just it is left and right. So what does the swap do? When I make a swap, when I will make a swap set, what it will do is that I will give default value to the default, so that whenever I come back to my original state, it comes back to default. Now, point. When I press 4 on my keyboard, okay, so what will happen? The finger will point. Okay, it will point and it will not be in default state anymore. It will be in the point. So what it is happening? It is swapping from default to point. Okay, so default will become point. So that is what it's doing. It's exchanging the layers values. It's swapping the layers values. So that's why it's called swap set. So when I press 5, it shows the peace sign. So that means I'm swapping again. So you show something else instead of something else, like by swapping it. Okay, so that's why it's called swap set. Now, best way to do a swap set is to create a swap set, empty swap set, by pressing this plus icon. Okay, then you have create swap set. I will click on the swap set, and you can see that the icon of the swap set is little different than these. These are basically a finger showing. That means like it's like you don't have, like it's like a trigger. You just press and it happens. Okay. Swap set, the icon is different. That means you can you have to drag multiple number of layers here so that you can swap them. So this is created, and you can see this orange because it's empty right now. So I can right click here, rename it to hand. Okay. So once I give it a name of a hand, now what I can do, I don't need this arm or sleeve. What I need is these 4. Default, point, piece, palm swap. All these 4. And make sure the way you want it in the initial state, it should be in that state. Means my default is only unhidden, others are hidden. Okay, because whenever I play the animation, default is always there and it is open. Okay, it is showing, but point, piece, and palm swap are hidden and they're not showing unless I want to show them. Okay, so what I will do is that I will just click on it, drag inside the hand. You can see the solid blue line, and once I will drag it, it will be dragged, and now I have to start giving them the values. Now point, okay, default is basically default. So what I need to do here is that I have to select the default and press here on the default. Okay, So that means when I leave my finger out like from the any one of these, it will come back to the default. Now you can see here there are trigger icons here. That means in a swap set there are number of triggers. Okay, so now I will go to the point and I will give it a number 4. Then I will go to piece, I will give it number 5. I will go to palm swap, I will give it number 6. Default, because right now I'm not using latch, so I don't have to give anything to default, because whenever I will leave my finger off number 4 or 5 or 6, it will always come back automatically to default. So I don't have to give a key. But if I'm using latch, then obviously I have to give a key over here. Okay. Now I have to go. I will go to the record just to see how it works. Okay. Now you can see my default state as it is there. Now if I press 4, you can see it is pointing. And when I leave my mouse, if I leave my finger and lift my finger off the 4 key, it will go back. Okay. Now if I will press 5, you can see it is making a peace sign. When I leave my finger off the number 5, it will be normal again. Okay. If I press 6 on my keyboard, you can see it is swapping to the right to left. Okay. So whenever I do that and leave my mouse, it always goes back to default because I selected the default layer and give it a name of a default. Okay. So this is how you make a trigger and swap set. Okay. Swap set basically is a set which have number of triggers inside. Okay. Any questions so far? Is it all clear? If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So I can make it more clear to you. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to move from the basic trigger to a little bit advanced trigger. Okay. So what I will do here is that I will just go to scene number 2, which is here. Turn this on. And here we have little bit advanced triggers here. Okay. So basically if I click over here on the puppet 2, you can see there is nothing here. Okay. Because I have to make a trigger. Now there are some layers over here which you cannot see at this stage. Okay. So let's go to the rig right now and see how we can create them. So if I go here, okay, so here we have our trigger behavior. Okay, now here if you will see on the first stage, okay, I have here which is called basically something like you can say press 1 to make an explosion. Okay, now here there is an explosion here, right? It is appearing, but when I go to the record mode, there is no explosion here. The reason is that because if I will select this layer of explosion here on my Adobe Character Animator, it's here, it shows that it's there, but if I go inside the folder itself, okay, they are in like they are there, okay, but it's not showing. The reason is that because it doesn't have any kind of a trigger right now. Okay, now what are these? These are different layers. Let me do one thing here. Let's go back to the record. Okay, and then what I will do here is that I will select number 2 puppet, which is the whole thing. Okay, and press the Photoshop button here so that it will open inside the Photoshop. Now we will see one by one what is inside the Photoshop here. Okay, Uh, Here, if you will notice that I have here the same layers here. Okay, the first one here is the explosion, which is by Paul Studio. Paul Studio is basically a website where you can find these kind of animations. Now, if I will click here on the folder, you will see there are 987654321. So if I hide these all, you can see number 9 is this, number 8 is this, number 7 is this, 6, 5 is this, okay, 4 is this, 3 is this, 2 is this, and 1 is this. So if I press, okay, 1 is basically the first one. If it starts like this, okay, let me do quickly, okay, so you can understand what I'm trying to do. Okay, it's like an animation starting from 1, then keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, and reaching till 9. Okay, so this is basically what it is doing. So what is our first trigger? Our first trigger is that press 1 to make an explosion. Now, to make an explosion, we have all these files 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they all should play one after one like a movie. Okay, we should play like a clip. So this process can be played with the help of a behavior which is called cycle layers behavior. Cycle means to move from 1 to 9, then for again from 1 to 9, one by one, if you will play it, so it will look like it is cycled, means like it is animated. So what I can do is that I can hide all of them. Okay, then I can close this one, and then I will save this. Okay, so that's all. Now I will go back to my character animator. Here it will update what I did, because whenever you save in Photoshop, it updates here. So that's a good thing about Adobe Character Animator. It is linked with your Photoshop. Now I will go back to Reg. Now here you cannot you can see everything is now gone here. Okay, so what I will do here is that I will kind of work on the explosion first. Okay, now here you will see that there is a like this kind of a button here. Can you see this? So there is a kind of a like a block or something that is called behavior. There is a behavior on it, but what I will do is that I will just, let me do one thing. Let me remove the behavior right now. So okay, so now there is no behavior. So let's start like fresh. Now I want to add a cycle layer behavior on it. Okay, so that it starts from number 1, then it goes to number 9, or from 9 to 1. It's up to you, but in our case it should start from number 1 and go to number 9. So we know it starts from bottom and then it goes to above. So I will take this explosion by Pause Studio layer. I will go on my right side here. If you remember, when we were going to apply what you call our dragger, we went here on the right side. So the same thing for the behavior. I have come to the right side. I'll go to behavior, press the plus button, and here there are a lot of behaviors. Now what is behavior? Basically, behave means, okay, like suppose some kid is naughty in the class, so the teacher says behave yourself, behave like a good son, behave like a good student. Act means you have to act like the good student, and your behavior have to be good. So this is behaviors for your layers, how you want your layer to behave. Okay, so you want to behave it like a cycle layer, so that when I press something it goes cycles. Okay, so you want them to behave like something, and these are all the behaviors. So I will choose cycle layers. Okay, cycle layers means it will start from here and then we keep on making a cycle of that. Up to you if you want to make it cycle or not, but cycle layers, that's why it's called. It will start from one and then it will keep on going on and on. So I will choose cycle layers here. Okay, now once I will apply cycle layers, again you can see there is a behavior icon over here. That means there is a behavior. Another way to add a behavior, let me remove this again. Another way to add a behavior is that when you go over here to this behavior column, and if there is no behavior, you will see a plus button, and that plus button says add a behavior. So if I press here, I can go cycle layers. Same thing, I will get the cycle layers here. So this is another way to apply that. So once it's there, okay, and then what I will do here is that let me show you what are the options here. Start means how you want to start it. So you want to start it when triggered, means when I press any key on the keyboard, then it starts. Yes, I want to start it when I press the one key. Press 1 to make an explosion. So that means I want to start it when I press something, when I trigger something. Otherwise, there are more options. Immediately means when the animation plays, automatically the trigger starts. Okay, like your explosion starts. So no, I don't want that, because I want it to trigger when I press the button. I don't want it to press it like I don't want it to start immediately and keep on running, because immediately is used for those cycle layers which are there as a background. Suppose you have an animation, and inside the animation you have a campfire scene, and that fire is keep on burning continuously. Okay, so for that purpose maybe you will use immediately, but for our purpose we don't want that. We want it to trigger whenever we press any button on the keyboard. Okay, so that's why I will keep it when triggered. Sync to timeline means like you can work with the timeline, okay, and you can sync with the timeline, and then you can, whenever on the timeline certain position you want to animate, you can do that, but I don't want that either. I will go to when triggered. Okay, now layer order, how you want to play it, from top to bottom? No, we want from bottom to top. So instead of top to bottom, I will choose bottom to top. So it will start from bottom and then it will go to top. Advance every one frame means 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. One frame after one frame, it will be showing me the layers. So yes, I want after every one frame I want. But if you want to make it more faster or skip the frames, you can change it like 2 frames. So it will skip one layer. It will not show one layer, and it will keep on skipping one layer, and then the animation will become faster. But I don't want to make it faster. I want it to be regular, so I will keep it 1. Okay, cycle. When I press 1, so the animation happens once. It doesn't loop, so I will keep it once. Forward reverse, I don't want this one. Forward and reverse means when I do the explosions happens. It doesn't rewind the whole footage. I don't want to rewind the whole animation. I just want to play it once. Okay. Hold on last layer. No, I don't want to hold on last layer. Means like the last layer, which is number 9, will stay more longer on the screen. Okay. So that basically, if you want to make it, it nicely works when you have a loop. But in once when you are playing, it will not be that, kind of a, you can say, it will not be that great. It will not be that like effective. Okay. On trigger end, when I finish my trigger, when I lift my my finger off the number 1 key, then what happens? Okay. Let the cycle finish. Okay, or stop immediately. So suppose if the explosion is happening and it's not completed, the explosion is not complete, and immediately I lift my finger off the number 1. So what happens then? Do you want to finish the whole animation, or suppose it was on number 4 layer, and while it was on 4, I just lift my finger off the key number 1. Okay, so what happened, it will play 1 2 3 4 and then it stops. So I can use stop immediately. So wherever I would be, it will stop at that scene, but I want the viewer to see the full animation. Okay, so I will keep it let cycle finish. Okay, so even if I will lift my finger off, if it is on number 6 layer or 8 layer, it will finish the whole animation. Okay, continue after. How you want to continue? When triggered, on when triggered release. If you press 1, then you want to play the explosion, or when you press 1 and then lift your finger off, then you like at that stage you want to play it. So I want it to play it when I press the number 1 key, not when I press 1 and then lift my finger. So I don't want that. I just want immediately when I press number 1 it starts playing. Okay, is this part clear, everyone? Any question regarding the behavior uh, here? Okay, so let's see how we can make now the explosion with the help of the cycle layers. So what you need to do here is that simple, you will take this explosion by Power Studio full group, take this group and drag it. When you are dragging a group, this is a folder, it's a group. So when we were dragging a group, so it immediately gives you these two options, which you didn't got last time. And this option only appears when you are dragging a group or a folder here. So when I'm dragging explosion by Power Studio group, so it showed me here. I want to create a trigger, not a swap set, because it is playing and not replacing or swapping or exchanging something. It's just a playing. So it is a trigger. So I will go to the trigger and drag it on that. Okay, now what this Power Studios have inside, it have all these layers. Okay, and what are these layers? These layers are here, and these layers are what? These layers will work with the behavior. So what I will type here, number 1. It's not a latch, so I will not press the latch button. Now let's see if it plays here. I will go to record. Okay, and when I press 1, you can see it makes an explosion. So while you are recording something and then you want an explosion, you just press 1, an explosion happens. As many times you want, you can do explosions. You can save a lot of time after this, because if in traditional animation you have to keep on showing that explosion. Okay, here you just have to press 1 on the keyboard. It's like a game you are playing. You just record your actions and it will be there. Okay, so this is number 1, which is about creating an explosion with the help of cycle key, and it only happens 1. Now let's go to the rig again and let's see what is on number 2 here. Okay, now on number 2, okay, we have here, which is fireball. Let me do one thing here. Okay, keep it there. Okay, this is a loop, like just like this one, explosion by Power Studio. Inside here I have 1 2 3 4. Okay, so here what I will do is that I will hide all of them, just like what I did to the others. Okay, okay, so now what is this? This is a fireball looping. Looping means it will keep on playing the animation when you press the button. So when I press number 2, a loop of fireball will play. Means like the animation will be continuous. It will not stop. Okay. So if I will go here in my behavior, because there is a behavior already over there. Okay. So in the cycle, it says continuously. Last time we chose once. Now we have continuously selected. Continuously means it will keep on playing. Rest everything is same, but one thing I have to change over here is that it should play from bottom to top. So there should be not top to bottom, should be bottom to top. Okay, rest is what we have used the last time. So exactly the same thing that we use, but we have here continuously pressed. Continuously means it will keep on playing uh, unless I leave my finger off the number 2 key. I can make it latch also, but first let's do without the latch. So I will drag this, same thing, drag it to the create trigger, assign number 2. Now if I will go here to my record, and at this stage if I press 2 on my keyboard, you can see that my finger is on number 2 right now, and you can see it is creating a loop, and it's happening. It's keep on working just like that. It's not stopping. When I lift my finger off number 2, then it stops. Okay, I can do one more thing here. If I will go to the rig, okay, or even here in the record you can do. I can go in here by firewall, click on latch. Okay, now if I press 2 on my keyboard and lift, my now fingers are not there on number 2. It's keep on looping, and when I press 2 again, it stops. One way of doing that. Okay, is this part clear? Okay, so this is how you can make another like sort of cycle layers. This was without continuation. There is no loop. Here there is a loop. Okay, now let's see what is the third one. The third one, you will see we have the same green light over here. Okay, now this light, let me do one thing here. Okay, now there is no behavior. Good. Now we have a third number. It says press 3 to have a green circle fade in. Press it again to fade out. Now in the last like the basics trigger, what we were doing was that we were just pressing number 2 key, okay, and then like near number 1, number 2, number 3, it just shows normally. It just blinks and then it goes back. There was no a soft animation, a smooth animation. There was no smooth animation here. Okay, what if I want to fade in the animation of the green light? Instead of just popping, I want it to slowly, smoothly fade in. So in this case, what I can do here is that, let me do one thing here. I just want to remove all these behaviors so that we can apply our own behavior. Otherwise, we will not understand what's going on. Now, I will take this light, green light. Now, this green light does not have any kind of behavior. So there is one behavior which is very simple behavior. If I click over here, there is a behavior called fader. If I'll press on fader, it will give me fader option here. The duration of fader, how long you want it to take the fading to complete. 0.5 seconds, which is quite good. Okay, not too fast, not too slow, a good amount. Now I will go to the green light here, drag it here. Okay, and as you can see, there is something inside, which is the green light itself. Okay, so it's inside the folder, and it's okay. You can have a folder. Inside the folder, you can have only one layer. It doesn't matter. Okay, but it's always best to apply behavior on folders instead of applying it here. Okay, so that it will affect everything which is inside the folder. But in this case, there is only one layer inside. So even if I will apply the behavior on the green light itself, it will work. Okay, because it's only single layer. So I will take this folder of green light, put it in the trigger. Here I will write number 3. Okay, and I will latch it. So what will happen if I will press number 3? It will find this, and it will, first thing it will look for is behavior. So whenever you press these triggers, first thing the trigger looks for is the behavior. So if there is behavior, it will play the behavior. Otherwise, it will hide or unhide the layer simply, just like what we did in the last session, last part. Okay. Now I will go here in the record. Okay. Now in the record, what I will do here is that I cannot see the light. But if I press 3, you can see it fades in smoothly. Then I press 3, fades out smoothly. Fades in, fades out. Okay. So this is what the fading behavior helps you to do. Clear so far? So this is a very simple way, a nice way to animate something. Okay. So otherwise, to animate something, you must have these layers, like cycle of layers. But when you are using fader, fader doesn't need that. It just need a behavior of fader here, and you just write here how long the animation should be. Okay, so that's a very simple way of doing it. Now let's go to here, number 4. Now I have here a chicken. Let me do one thing here as well. Chicken. Now in the chicken, when I press number 4, so I want a chicken to fall from the sky and drops down. Okay, so I want it to fall from the sky and I want it to fall down. Now here, this is called a physics behavior. There was a behavior which I removed so that we can make our own behavior. Okay, so let me remove these ones as well here. Okay, so what I can do is that I can go to the chicken. Okay, and then in the chicken, I will go down, I will add a behavior, or I just simply click here the add behavior button, and then I will go to physics. In the physics, you will see a lot of different options here. Gravity strength, gravity direction, 180 degrees, wind strength, 0. Okay. Then I have here dangle, and then I have here collision. Okay. Clear so far? So this is what I have here. Here. Okay. Now in the collision, I have collide layers. Okay. And I have, okay, I have here dynamic layers. So these two I have here. Okay. Now what I need to do here is that I will just keep it as it is, just to see what happens if I will apply the if I will make it like a trigger out of chicken. So I will take the chicken, drag it to the create trigger, okay, and give it number 4, and I can also use latch. Okay, now I will go in the record. Okay, so I don't see a like a chicken over there. So when I press number 4, you can see the chicken just appear. Nothing is happening. There is no behavior happening. Okay, now let's go back here and look into the physics, what we can do here. Okay, now this says collision starts immediately. So I want the collision starts when triggered. Okay, so what is a collision? Like we will come back to it later. But at this stage, why it is not playing as triggered as we want it to play? Okay, because we have to apply a dynamic physics on it. Okay, so there is no dynamic physics on it. So that's why the physics is not playing here. So where is the dynamics? You select your chicken, you go over here in the tags. I told you there are these kind of tags here, but also there are motion trigger and physics trigger and modifier, and then miscellaneous tags here. So in the physics, because we are using physics behavior, there are collide, dangle, dynamic, and magnet. So there is a dynamic. So if I press on the dynamic, so you can see as soon as I will press dynamic, collide will also press automatically. If I don't want collide, I can uncheck the collide. But for this purpose, I will keep the collide also on. What does the collide means? Collide means if it hits the ground, the end of your layer, which is this one. If it hits here, it will collide. Okay, so that's what the collide is. It hits on the ground, it collides. Means like it knows this is the ground and I have to stop over there. So how it will stop, that we will like check later. Okay, but what is the collide? Collide is when it hits the end part, the ground part. Okay, that's the collide. That's why I will turn the collide on. We will go to this later on, but first we will see how the collide will be done. Okay, so I can go in the record and see if it works, or we need to turn on some more options. So now if I will press 4, so you can see it falls on the ground and it collides on the ground. Okay, so let me do one more thing. Instead of latch, I will turn off the latch here. I will press 4, and while my number 4 is pressed on the keyboard, then it will work. I think latch is better because I have to keep number 4 pressed on the keyboard just to show the animation. So I press 4 and then it will start playing. So I will press 4 again to play it, and 4 to stop, then 4 to play again, then 4 to stop, then 4 to play again, then 4 to stop. Okay, so this is what is happening right now. Okay, so now let's do some changes. So I don't have to press the 4 key just to play, then 4 key just to stop. I want something else, so let's go and trigger and let's see what we can do. Now, if I go here, there is a collision. I don't want a collision to start immediately. I want the collision to start when I press the number 4 key. So I will change the collision to start. Now, shape, contour. Contour means the same shape of your chicken. Now, my chicken is basically in this way. It's not like in a square way. It have a transparent background. That's why it is taking the shape of my chicken. Okay, so that is mean contour. So there is fast also. Fast is not good. It will take the whole thing as a as a box, but I don't want that. I want it to be contour. Weight. What is the weight of it? If it is too heavy, it will fall very fast. If it is lightweight, it will fall slow. But for me right now, I will keep it 100 the weight. Okay, if I will increase it, it will become heavy, so it will fall fast. If it is a lightweight like a feather, so I will reduce the weight. How much I want to bounce it? 20% I want to bounce it. If it is a ball, then you make it more. Okay, we will change these just to see what happens. Okay, return strength. Do you want to return it to back to its position? No, I don't want to return it, but we will see how if we can return it. So now let's see. We have done one change here. Start is now when triggered, the collide. Okay, because before collision was starting like immediately, but now I don't want the collision to start. I want the collision to start when I press 4 on my keyboard. So let's go back here just to see. Now it's not starting from here. Before it was starting from here because it was starting immediately. So 4, then 4 to turn off, then 4 again. Okay, just like that. Okay, so what I can do, I can turn off the latch. Okay, so I have to keep my mouse pressed till it's happening. So I have to keep the 4 key press on my keyboard just to show this. So what I can do here is that I can go back to rig mode here, select the chicken, go down here, and then is there any place here for applying that? No, there is nothing as to apply this, so I will keep it as it is. Okay, so that's fine. So I will keep it latch. There is no more other option I can do that, so I will keep it latched. Now let's see friction. Friction is that if the floor is slippery, so there will be a lot of frictions. But right now it is 30%. Let's make it 100% and see what will be the result if I will make the friction 100%. Okay, So I will go to the record, press 4. So you can see there is a more slide here. Okay. One more thing is that if I will go here and let's keep it 30 and make the weight little bit more higher, 500. So it will become very heavy. Let's see if something is very heavy, how it falls down. So 4. So it comes quite fast down and then goes back. Okay. Now, what if I change it to lightweight? Okay. Instead of 40, if I will make it 2. Okay. And then go to the trigger. So if I press 4, so you can see it's not it's like applying clearly here. Okay. I think it must turn on something else for that. Okay. Maybe negative value, or maybe let's put something more higher, 1000. Let's see. It's the same. There is no change. I don't know what is the reason, but maybe it's like you have to change these values as well. Okay, but let's keep it 100 for now. Now, bounciness, if I will change it to 100%. Okay, so let's see how it will bounce if I press number 4. So you can see that it has bounced a lot because I made the bounce 100%, so it is bouncing a lot. Okay, like a ball. Okay, so it's keep on bouncing. So I will go back here, and instead of 100%, I will make the bounciness here back to 20. Okay. Now return strength. Return strength is like 100%. Let's make it and see, because it will return back to its original state. Okay, later on. It's like a spring. Just like when a spring works, it returns back to its own position. So it is 100, so it quickly returns back to its position. That means it's not that working. If I will make it 100%, maybe if I will make it 50%, let's see how it works then. Okay, not basically what's happening is coming back to this position. Okay, it's not even colliding. Okay, so let's make it 1% and let's see. Okay, let's increase now. Instead of going to 50%, let's go to 20% and let's see how the 20% will work. If it is still too high, we will keep it. Yeah, still too high. So let's make it 10 and see if there is any change here. Yeah, I think it's coming back and all the other values. Only on 1 it is not acting. Let's try 5. After that, we will just remove it. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. So I'll just remove this return strength. Okay, because it have to work like a spring, but it's not like a spring. We have to create a like a theme of a spring basically to do that. But anyways, we don't want that anymore here. Okay, now collide layers, dynamic layers, we will keep it as it is. We're not going to change anything here because it leaves more layer. So when we will move to a physics parts, then we will do over here. Okay, other thing I can do here is that I can make it draggable. I can go to the modifier and make it draggable. So I can drag this as well. So if I will go to the record, okay, press 4 on my keyboard, and then I can pick it up and drag it and throw it somewhere. Okay, smash it on the sides wall, push it on the top part, drag it here, so I can keep on doing that. Okay, so drag will help me to drag anywhere. Okay, now this can be good when you have any item here, or a boy is playing with a ball, so you can just move the ball around, and then you can drag the items and it will be start animating. So you can animate in this way. So triggers helps you a lot with this part. Okay, now let's see number 5. Okay, any question regarding the physics? Is it all clear? If you have any questions, just let me know. So we will move now to number 5, about the flower growth. Okay, now flower, how it will grow? Flower will grow and cycle, just like what we did in the fireball and explosion. Okay, like if I go to the flower layer, it have uh, just like this sort of animation. Okay, like cycle. Okay, but it's a different kind of cycle. You can see it says number 1, number 2, number 3, cycle pause, then number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay, so it's different sort of some like an animation here. This means the flower group is a cycle layer animation, but every 4 layers is tagged as cycle pause. Okay, which will stop the cycle until the trigger is pressed again. This lets you build up sequential animation. Means like when I press number 5, it will start. Let me hide all these for now. So how the animation will start? It will start with number 1. Okay, then it will go to number 2. Basically it will start from here, number 6. Okay, then it will go to number 5, then number 4, then number cycle pause 2 layer. Here what it will do is that it will hide, sorry, it will stop. Let me do one thing. Instead of hide this one as well, go to Photoshop and rename them. Okay, so that easily we can fix it. Okay, let me close this one. Now I can go to the flower layer. Yeah, here it says 1, 2, 3. Then this one should be 4, then 5, then 6. Okay, now come back here. Okay, now it's fine. Now the first will when I do the cycle layer over here, I will apply a different kind of cycle. So what is that cycle called? That cycle is called cycle with pauses. Means it will go to 1, 2, 3, then as soon it will reach to any layer that have the word pause, the animation will stop here. It will not move forward. If I press number 5 again, then it will continue again, like it will start making this flower. Okay, you keep on growing it up, keep on growing it up, and then reaching to the end. Okay, so then it will finish. So it will pause again. When I press 5, it will go again from the start, from the bottom. So this is cycle with a pause. Okay, so what I will do here is that simply I will turn it off all the layers, like hide it. I will go to the flower, add behavior, normal cycle behaviors. Now in the cycle behaviors, if I will go here, I want it to, when it trigger, when I press number 5, it should work. Then it should work from bottom to top. Okay, because number 1 is on the bottom and then it goes to the top. It plays once. Okay, yes. Forward and reverse. This I will show you later on. Okay, hold on the last. No, I don't want this. On trigger and Yes, let cycle finish. Okay, and then pause layers. I will go here, and here you can see there are one pause here, then there are two pauses. So automatically it read the word pause, cycle pause. So cycle pause, you have to make sure you add cycle pause 2, cycle pause 3, so that your Adobe After Character Animator reads it. If it doesn't find any word related to cycle pause, it will not pause. So you make sure your name should be exactly the cycle pause. Okay, so it knows this is the pause layer. Continue after when triggered. Yes, when I press my number 5 on the keyboard, it starts working. So now I will drag the flower folder to the trigger and write it here 5. Now, as you know, it have a pause behavior, okay, automatically, because when you add the cycle layers just like these, it will automatically have a pause behavior. Now I'll go to the record. Okay, now if I press 5 and then it stops. When I press 5 again, then it stops there. But there's one issue here. I have to fix that. You have to go to the rig and then there should be option here, hold on the last frame. So I will check this, because last frame, that if you have noticed, it's just vanished. It just quickly run off the screen. So I don't want that. I have to go back here in the record. Now I have applied that. So 5 again, okay, and then 5 again. Okay, one thing is that there is no latch, so I have to apply latch also. So instead of applying this hold on last layer, I think it should have a latch. So I will go and press latch here, so it will work. Otherwise it will not work, because you cannot keep your mouse pressed over there. Okay, so this is it should this is the way it should not work. Okay, so what I will do, I will go back here. Now if I'll press 5, okay, it will play. 5 again, okay, it will play and pause. Okay, that's how the latch will work. Okay, you got the idea. Now one more thing which I was telling you about is the forward and reverse. So if I turn on the forward and reverse, so let's see what happens when we do the forward and reverse. Okay, so if we go here, or one more thing, to make it more dynamic or much more better, what we can do here is that we can let the cycle, yeah, it is on there. Okay, for now let's turn it off, the latch here for now. If we need it, we will turn it on later. Now we have applied forward and reverse. Let's see what is forward and reverse. If I press 5, it plays. 5 again, it plays. And now if I press 5 again and then 5 again, it goes back to its position. Okay, so you can see that it reverses. So this is what forward and reverse do. It goes back to where it was. It reverses, it rewinds your animation. So I think it's better you don't have to press the latch, because already it is pausing. The last layer is also pausing here. So that means there is no need for putting the latch. Otherwise, you have to press twice the button number 5. So this is now working fine with the cycle layers. And in the cycle layers we have pause layer. If you add any pause layers here, but it doesn't show in the pause layer option here, that means there is something wrong. Maybe the name is not right. So you have to make sure you add the correct name over there. Okay, so suppose if I go in the Photoshop, okay, and let me hide this all again, and if I will name this one to something else, DDDD, Okay, and then save this. And if I go here in my Adobe Character Animator, okay, so you can see that the DDDD is there. Okay, is it here inside? It will be there, but it might not work as we are looking for. Okay, so you have to click it and then you have to go there and then you have to apply. But it's better you can rename, you have to keep the same name over here so that it won't have any issues. Okay, so this one have to be 2. Okay, so that's, now it should work fine. Let me check here. Yes, it's working fine. Okay, so now let's go to the 6th one, which is the guy. Okay, we have this guy over here and we have this hand here. It's not changed. Let's change this hand here as well. Let me do one thing. Bring this guy here just to change his colors and we will move him back. Okay. But the reason I'm doing this is because it's not matching the way I modeled it. Yes, here. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, now I'm back here. Now it's, I think it should be fine. Yes. Okay, now what is here? Number 6. Let me hide him. Let me hide his hands here because we don't want the hands to appear right now. Okay, now here, press 6, this guy raises his hands, lowers his arm. So arm raise is a cycle layer group, but it's set to hold on the last layer and go forward and reverse. This lets you animate in and out of a pose, and it is a very common technique for triggers animation. So what it do is that we will apply a trigger to the arm. So when I press 6, it goes up, it holds on the last frame, okay, like when the hand is up there, and when I release my mouse it goes back down. Okay, so before we were not doing that. Let's do without the hold, hold on last, and see what happens when we do without hold and last, and then what happens when we use hold and last. So we will do both things here. I will take the arm raise, add a behavior, cycle layers. Okay, so it should be, let's see, top to bottom or bottom to top. Let's see what is on the number 1. Yes, it should be top to bottom this time. Okay, so instead of hold on last frame check, I will do first without the check. Drag it here, give it a number 6. Now I will go here. Now if I will press 6, you can see it's doing something like this. It's not holding on the last frame, which is causing a problem for me. Okay, whenever I press 6, it displays the animation, then it's gone. So what I can do here is that if I will go to the rig, okay, keep my arm wrist selected, go back in the behavior. This time I will choose hold down the last frame. Once I will turn it on, and then I will go to the record. Okay, inside the record, if I will press 6, now you can see it's not going to the it's not like disappearing. It holds on the last frame. This is the last frame and it holds there. And one thing is that when I leave my mouse, it goes back, it disappears. So if I don't want to make it disappear and goes in a reverse order back, so what I can do, I can go to the rig, go to the arm raise. Instead of like forward and reverse unchecked, I will keep it checked. So when I go back into record, I will press, and when I leave, it goes down. Okay, this is how you can do these kind of animations. Okay, suppose you want only a head and only a arm raise over there. So this is how, in some different ways, you can apply this technique. Okay, clear so far, everyone? Is this part clear? The whole thing is clear? Any questions so far about these trigger behaviors that we have done? So we have cycle layers without any loop. Okay, then we have fireball with a loop. Okay, then we have like a green circle with a fade in, fade out option. Okay, then we have chicken with physics applied on it. Okay, so we have dragger behavior on it, so I can drag it anywhere I want, or I can smash it somewhere and it will bounce. Okay, then I have here flower with the pause key. Okay, then I have arm raise up and down. Okay, so this is without latch. The arm is without latch. There is no latch. When I press 6, it goes up. Okay, and when I leave my number 6 key, it goes down. Okay, because there is a forward and reverse, and it is a hold last frame helps me to keep this on the screen until my key number 6 is pressed. Okay, now let's go to the last one. So the last one is basically our face triggers. Let's see how the face triggers work. Okay, so let me do one thing here is I will remove triggers from all of these layers here. Okay, so that we can make our own. Okay, let me do one thing. Before deleting that, let's make a note of what we have here and what we need here. Otherwise, sometimes you can forget what do we have here. Okay, so what we have to make here, first we have to make a blink trigger. Okay, then we the blink trigger can have like a number 1 key. Then we can have here animated blink. Okay, which can have here number 2. Then we have happy face, which have number 3. We can have a half eyelid, okay, which can have number 4. And mouth, basically we have different sort of mouth here. Normal mouth here, okay, which is a default mouth. Then we have confused mouth, which is number 5. Okay, and then we have sad mouth, which is number 6. So this is what we have in the uh, mouths. Okay, and then we have here uh, another one, which is basically beard. So his beard appears, we can say uh, number 7 on the beard. Okay, and then we have here shades. Okay, which can have number uh, you can say number 8. Okay, and then we have a poof sort of trigger, which is number, you can say 8 as well. So these we are going to now make one by one. So let's remove this. So I will delete all these. Okay, by selecting, pressing delete button here. We will make our own. Now there are no triggers. It's only you can see that if I select here. Okay, I have a mouth. You can see his mouth is selected here. It is already tagged. Eyes, eyebrow, everything is just like in the first lessons. If you remember, we did the first lesson with the chat. Same thing is here. Okay, so if I will go to record, his face is fully functional. Okay, let me set a reset pose. Okay, so when I talk, so he's talking also. When I move my head, his head is also moving. When I move my eyebrows, it's moving. When I blink, he blinks also. Okay, so his expressions, like when I smile, he also smiles. So he have it. Everything is working. Only thing we need to apply now is the blink. Oh, sorry, the triggers, face triggers. First, number one. Let's see. Let's go to the rig. Okay, let's zoom in and see what we have here. The first thing that we have here is simple blink. Blink, it blinks when I blink my eye. Okay, like this. What if I want to blink it with the trigger? Because sometimes what happens, you want a crazy blink. Now I cannot add a crazy blink because I have to keep on blinking my eyes a lot of time. Okay, which is not right. I will be working also, and I will be able to work while closing my eyes all the time. Okay, so I can make a trigger to do that. So let's see how to do that trigger. So here we have to see where we can apply that trigger. So blinking, here we have uh, left eye and we have right eye. Inside the left eye and right eye, let's see what we do have. In both of them, we have a left blink and we have a right blink. Where is the right blink? Yeah, okay. So left blink looks like this. Let me move this here so you can see. Okay, it looks like this, and the right blink looks like this. But what I want is that I don't want the trigger anymore, because I need it swap set. Here trigger will not work. Why the trigger will not work? Okay, anyone who can tell me why the trigger will not work? Why I will be using swap set? Okay, can anyone tell me about this thing? Anyone? I just told you the difference between trigger and a swap set, when we use the trigger and when we use the swap set. So any like what comes in your mind when we speak about the trigger and the swap set? Okay, now reason of why I will not use the trigger, because what does the trigger do? trigger only show you a option once at a time. Swap set, what it does that it swaps, it exchanges two things. So here I will have my normal eye, and when I press number 1 to blink, so it swaps the original eye to the blink eye. That's why I need here the blink command, like the swap set. Okay. So what I have to add in the swap set. So let's see what to add in the swap set. I will go just here. Okay. I will create first a swap set here, and I will call this swap set, I will rename this swap set to simple blink. Okay, now it is orange because it's all empty. I don't have anything over here. So now what I will do here is that inside the simple blink, I will go and add my eyes over here. Okay, now what kind of eye I will add it? First, let's do with the left eye. In the left eye, I have eyeball, okay, and I have left eye, okay. So I will take both of them, okay, and drag them inside here, and they both are inside. But the left pupil and left eyeball, they are basically same object, a part of a same layers or part of a same group. So what I have to do is that I have to keep them inside one layer, both of them, just like this. So now you can see eyeball is there, and pupil is there, and I will rename this to eye. Okay. Now what I will do here is that it is done, so I will close this one here. Okay, now I will go to the right eye. Okay, in the right eye I will take the right pupil and the right eye, and I will drag and drop them inside this eye, because these are also the part of a group of eyeball and eye pupils. So all the eyeballs, all the eye pupils are inside this eye group. Okay, now I will hide the eye here. Now what I will do is that I will go back here and I will take my left blink and drag the left blink here inside, and make sure this is inside this swap set. So I have to drag this inside the swap set. It's now there, and I will rename this one to blink, simple blink. Now this is inside this blink, there is left blink, okay, but there is no right blink. So I have to go to the right eye. I have to take the right blink and drag it inside there. Okay, now I'm done. I will close the eye, both eyes here, so I don't have a lot of things open. Now this one, this eye contains all the regular parts of the eye. It completely exactly looks like this. I have left and right, both of it here, and this is default. I kept it default. Blink, there are all blinks inside, but here I don't want it to be default. I want it to be number 1, and I don't want it to be latched. So number 1 I will tap here. So when I press 1, so this appears, and when I leave the number 1, it goes back to the eye. So let's see if it works here. If it doesn't, then we can go and see what's wrong. Okay, let me set the rest pose here. Now if I press 1, you can see it's blinking. I leave it. Now keep on, I can do that, and this is I cannot do without my own blinking. Without, it will be very hard for me. I might get headache or something, and it will be a little hard. So, but I can now do that with my keyboard. Okay, clear? Any questions so far? Now let's see number 2. Number 2, what we have here? Number 2, I have here press 2 for an animated blink. Okay, so now I want to make a trigger here, or like swap set here again. Okay, and for the sorry, not swap set, I want to create a trigger here, because now I don't want to swap it. Okay, I want to show it and then goes back. So what I want to show right now here is there is inside the left eye and the right eye, I have animated. Okay, what is animated blink? Animated blink is something like this. It will go to number 1, then it will go to number 2, then 3, and then it will blink. Okay, sorry, this is not the part. So it will be like this. So what I will do is that I will just keep it in this way. Now what I will do here is I will make a new trigger and call this anime blink. And it is orange because it's all empty. I will take this animated one, and first I have to add a behavior here. There is already a behavior. So if I will go here, you can see there is a cycle layer already here. So that means when I press number 2, so the cycle layers works for this one. Okay, so it's already there. I don't have to add any cycle layer here. Okay, otherwise, if there is no cycle layer for anything that is animating, you have to add a cycle layer. So I will go here, and then I will drag it inside the anime blink. It's already there now. Now I will do the same with the right eye here. I will take the animated one. Let's see if it have a behavior, because there is an icon over here that says it's have a behavior. It already have a behavior. Drag it here, okay, in the anime blink. So already it's there. Now what I can do is that I can write here number 2, okay, and then I can go back here. So how it will work is that if I press 2, okay, so it will animate just like this. So it is on hold on the last frame, so that's why it's holding on the last frame. If I leave it, it do reverse. So reverse is also there. Okay, so if I will go in the rig again just to see how the behavior is working, both of them are checked. Forward and reverse, just like we did for the hand. Hold on the last frame, just like we did for the hand. Both are like selected. That's why when I press number 2, at the end it holds on the last frame, and when I leave the 2, it reverses. Okay, that's how it's being created. Okay, so this is how the animated one creates. So a very nice way on doing these triggers if you want to do the animation one. And how the animation is working is very simple. The animation are just like this layers, just like this. It goes from 1, okay, just like this, then it goes to 2 like this, and it goes to 3 and it closes. Okay, very simple. So that's what you can do with the animated one. Now let's see what we have at number 3. Press 3 or 4 for different eyelets. Including different eyelets, trigger can add more like nuance to your eye performance. Okay, so we can use number 3 and number 4 different kind of eyelets. So let's find where do we have eyelets over here. Eyelets should be in the eye. Yeah, there is lids here. So we have lid for left and we have lid for half. So if we have a happy eyelid, which is like this, he is happy, and we have half like he is kind of thinking about something, or he is worried about something, okay, or something like that. So when you are happy, so what happens, when you smile, okay, your eyes goes like this and you smile, okay, it's going. And when you're thinking about something or looking at, so your eyelids are half closed. Okay, so for that purpose we can add here number number 4 to the half eyelid. So let's do for the happy one. First of all, I will go create a swap set, okay, or trigger, okay, because I don't want to because there is no because by default there is no eyelid over here. If you will see, is there in an eyelid? There is no eyelid, so there is no need to swap set, because swap set when you have to replace something. So we don't have an eyelid, So we have to trigger the eyelid. So that means we will use trigger, not a swipe set. So I will take happy ones from the left, drag it here, okay, and then I will go to the right, take the happy one from the right also, drag it here, put it number 3, okay, and I can make it latch so that once I press, it will be there until I press 3 again to stop it. I will rename it to happy. So both right and left happy eyelids are there. I will create again a new trigger set, rename it to half, and take the half from both by pressing Ctrl key on the keyboard, dragging it here inside. Now both are there. So you can drag 2 at the same time, but you have to press Ctrl on your keyboard to select more than one. And here I will put number 4, and also I will make it latch. Now record. Now let's see if I press 3. He's happy. Okay. If I press 4, so he's like thinking something fishy going on. Okay. Yeah, that kind of feeling he was giving. Clear so far? Now let's go to the rig again and let's see what we have now at number 5. So we have here number 5 and 6. Let me close the eyes because we are done with the eyes. Now we are in the mouth. There is a normal mouth, a regular mouth. Right now this is a regular mouth that we have. Okay. So this is a regular mouth and it's working fine. So what we want is that when we press number 5, so a different sort of mouth appears. And what can be that mouth? That mouth can be confused mouth. Okay. So sort of a confused mouth, like it replaces the normal mouth. If I press 6, so some other sort of mouth replaces it. So that means it is replacing. So this time I will not use trigger, I will use swap set, because the confused mouth and the other mouth, the alternative mouth, is replacing my normal regular mouth. So I will go here, make a swap set, call it mouth. Okay. Now here inside this mouth, I have to put my first regular mouth, which is this one. This is the regular one. Drag it here inside and make it default, because when I will leave my number 5 or number 6 keys from the keyboard, it will go back to this regular mouth. Now I will go to my alternative mouth and let's see what do we have here. I have confused mouth. So I will go here and add a confused mouth inside this swap set and give it number 5 and also make it latched, so that while I will press 5, it will be on confused state, and when I press 5 again, it will go back to my normal mouth. And let's go and say a sad set. So if I want to make him sad, I will press number 6. So I will take the sad. It's a layer. You can see that it's a layer. Sorry, it's like a group of layers, just like it's on my mouth one, but it is more like sad. It will be like sad. Okay. So I will take the sad, put it inside the mouth, change it to 6. Okay. And then also latch it, and I will go to record. Now everything is normal, my mouth is normal here, and when I want him to get confused, I will press 5. Now he's confused, but he's not talking because it's just like he's confused and there is no layer inside. But number 6, he will become sad and he is talking in a sad manner. Basically, the sad face is same as the normal one, like this one, okay? But it's upside down, so he looks sad. Only just notice the tongue is in the right position, because the tongue, if I will put it up there, okay, it will not look right. It have to be down just like this. Okay, so the tongue is on the same position, but every other thing is upside down. Okay, so if I press 6, it will go back to the same face. But if I press 6 again, it will go back to my sad face. And press 5 to get this confused. If I press 5 again, it goes normal. Okay? Clear, everyone? Any question? So we have now left 7 and 8. Now 7 and 8 is what? To make props appear. So what props we have here? We have shades, okay, and we have mustache and we have beard. So they are appearing. They are not replacing like the mouth. They are appearing. So I need to make a trigger. So first let's make a trigger for the shades. I will go here, drag the shade here. Okay, just like drag it. It's already named shades, so I don't have to do anything here, but I will press number 7 here. Okay, and then what I can do here is that I can go and press latch here, and let's see. So now I'm moving my head, and if I press number 7, shades appear, and the shades are also moving with the head. Press 7 again, no shades, shades, no shades, shades. Okay. Now I will do the same thing with the beard and mustache. But let's do one thing. Let's make the beard and the mustache animated. Okay. So what I can do here is that let me go to my to my puppet number 3 here and open it inside the Photoshop. Okay. Now I will turn on my mustache here. Okay. Now what I will do here is that I will make a folder and rename this one, copy this and make this the name of the folder mustache plus. This one I will drag inside here. I will rename it to number, you can say 5. Okay. Then I will duplicate this. I will duplicate this and keep this 5. Hide this one. This one I will rename it to 4. And what I will do, I will take the eraser and erase a bit of the mustache like this. Okay. Now I will duplicate it again. Control J you can press to duplicate. Drag this one down. Hide this one. Rename it to number 3. And I can make it something like this. Now Control J again here. Drag this down. Hide this one. Rename this one to 2. Erase it a little bit more. Okay, now Control J again here. Drag this down. Hide this one. Rename this to number 1. And name it like this. And then hide this one as well. So this is now my cycle layers. Okay, it will go like this. So it will animate. So I will hide these. When I press my animation button, then it should show. Okay. And I think mustache have to be on top of the beard. Okay. So I have to make a folder there. Now beard. I will make a folder here. Rename this one. Oh, sorry. Copy this name, and this should be also plus. Okay. If it will not look good independent, then because plus mean independent, so it will move on its own. If it doesn't look good, we will change it back to the normal. But let's see how. I will drag this beard inside. Change its name to number 5 as well. Control J to duplicate it. Drag this one down, hide this one, and rename this to number 4. And what I will do is that I will start, erasing some parts here to make it a little shorter. Then I will Control J here, drag this down, hide this, and make this one number 3. Okay, and little bit more thinner I will make from the bottom, like this. Now Control J again, drag this down, number 2, hide this one and hide this, and then this one I can make it something like this. Then Control J again, drag this down, hide this one, and rename it to 1. And then I can erase everything here. Okay, so that's all I have here. I will unhide this, go to File, like I will hide all these, okay, inside, and for mustache also, for beard also. Both are independent. Now I have saved it loud. Let's go here. It will refresh. Now you can see beard and mustache both are there with the independent. So what I will do here is that I will make a trigger for like beard and mustache, and both of them I will give a name, like the same number there, okay, which is number 8. So I will take the mustache here, okay, drag it down, but before doing that there is no behavior. I have to add a behavior, cycle layers. So I will go in the cycle layers. Okay, it should be from bottom to top, okay, because number 1 is on the bottom for both of them, for the beard also, for that also, okay. Now cycle once, okay, no loop, forward and reverse, yes, hold on the last frame, yes, okay, and let cycle finish. Everything is as it is same, okay. Now I will drag this here, okay, and it will be automatically a trigger. So I will write here number 8, and also I will apply latch, okay. Same thing I will do with the beard. I will apply a behavior, cycle layer. I will just check these two, that's all, okay. Done. And then I will drag this one down and the create trigger over here, because if I will drag here, by default it creates a trigger, okay. This one also I will add, I will get number 8 to this. Apart from this, I have poof by Power Studio. Now what is this? This is this kind of animation, okay, like a something, this kind of smokes appears, okay. So this one, what I will do here is that it's an animation, and I want the same thing to appear when I press number 8 as well. So so that means it's already have a cycle layer, so I don't have to worry about here. Drag it here, number 8. So this means one key can trigger as many things you want, okay. For Studio, I don't want it to be latched, okay. I want it to be just play once and that's all. So here I have mustache, I have beard with 8, 8, and poof by Power Studios, I have 8 here as well. And then it works, really nicely. All these three layers triggers will work when I press 8. So let's see. So if I'll go to record, okay, and when I press 8, so you can see that it works in this way, okay. So there is something wrong here with the beard itself. Let's see what is wrong with the beard. I think there is something with the behavior. Forward and reverse, hold on last frame, it's done. Oh, it is top to bottom, it have to be bottom to top, sorry, okay. So now let's go back here, and now if I will press 8, okay, that's strange, it's not holding. So I will go back here and see what is wrong with the beard here. So let's go back here. Let's see, what do we have when triggered. Bottom to top, that's fine. Cycle layer, yes, it should be play once. Okay. Forward and reverse, yes. Hold on last frame, it should be hold on last frame. Okay, because I forgot to turn on the latch. There is no latch. That's why it was creating an issue. Because whenever I keep, whenever I will leave my finger off the number 8, it like goes back to its original position. So I have latched it now. So now it will be fine. I will press 8. I have this person with a beard. If I press 8 again, it goes normal. And there is a poof, like a magic happening. Okay. But magic is happening is on the eye. It has to be a little bit here. So what I can do here is that I can go to the rig. Okay. Poof. And now I can, it's better if I can move from here. Turn it on one layer so I know actually what is going on here. Okay, so here it should appear. Now I will turn it off. Now I will go to record, and now if I will press 8, now it's good. Okay, poof gives a magic thing. Okay, that he got his beard and a mustache, and it's animating as well. Okay, everyone, anyone who has question? Okay, so just you can see we have created like a trigger on his face. So this is a nice way of doing animation, interactively animation. Okay, so everything is clear. Do you have any question? Okay, so we did finish today bit earlier our class. So I want you all to come back to the blackboard, and on the blackboard now I will discuss with you your first assignment right now. Okay, and also it is I will upload it today, but I will show it to you right now so that you know about what you need to do for your first assignment. Okay, so and also I will take your attendance on the blackboard. So guys, let's meet on the blackboard, and next class we will move to create our character from scratch using a blank character like a template. Okay, so let's meet on the blackboard. So take care guys.